A Day on the Focus. Hey everyone, and welcome back to A Day on the Focus. It's Anne here, your friendly neighborhood history buff, ready to dive into the fascinating events of December 10th. Buckle up, Buttercup, because this day has seen some seriously dramatic stuff go down throughout history. We're talking betrayals, battles, and even a Nobel Prize or two. First up, let's travel back to 1317. In Sweden, we have the Nyköping Banquet, a royal family gathering that went spectacularly wrong. King Birger, not exactly known for his warm and fuzzy personality, locked up his brothers, Valdemar and Eric, and let's just say room service wasn't exactly top-notch in that medieval dungeon. They starved to death. Talk about a family dinner you don't want an invite to? Fast forward a couple of centuries, and we find ourselves in 1520. Where Martin Luther, the guy who basically kicked off the Protestant Reformation, took a torch to a papal bull. A papal bull, for those playing at home, is not an actual bull, but rather a formal document from the Pope. He publicly burned it. Rebellious? Absolutely. Effective? Just home. Debatable, but definitely made a statement. Then there's 1768. Forget Netflix and chill. People in 1768 were all about the Encyclopædia Britannica. The first edition hit the shelves. I bet those first subscribers thought they were getting a pretty sweet deal compared to today's streaming costs. Jumping ahead to 1861, the American Civil War is in full swing. The Confederacy decides Kentucky is theirs. Whether Kentucky agreed is a whole other story. A bit of a land grab if you ask me. And in that same year, a Vietnamese guerrilla leader named Nguyen Trung Truc pretty much single-handedly sank a French ship. A true underdog story. And speaking of underdogs, let's not forget 1877 and the Russo-Turkish War. The Russians finally capture Plevna after a 5-month siege. That's some serious dedication to a long-term strategy. 1901 marks the first Nobel Prize ceremony. Imagine being one of those first laureates. The bragging rights alone would be worth it. And speaking of Nobel Prizes, Theodore Roosevelt snagged one in 1906, becoming the first American to win. He clearly took the saying, "keep calm and carry on," very seriously. From triumphant victories to utterly bizarre events, we land in 1907 with the Brown Dog Riots, medical students clashing with police over a memorial to vivisected animals. It certainly wasn't a dog park meetup. December 10th has seen everything from political upheaval and military conflict to scientific breakthroughs and cultural milestones. Those match. It's a day crammed with contrasts. A microcosm of history itself. Creative story time. Imagine a time traveler. Let's call her Ilara, who accidentally ends up at the Nyköping Banquet in 1317. Horrified by the brothers' fate, she tries to warn King Birger, using a crudely drawn picture of a starving man to illustrate the dire consequences of his actions. Birger, mistaking it for a new kind of medieval graffiti, dismisses it as an act of rebellion. Ilara, dejected, escapes just in time to stumble upon Martin Luther burning his papal bull. She grabs a burning fragment of the paper, a souvenir of a day gone terribly and wonderfully wrong, and realizes just how messy and unpredictable history can be. By sheer chance, she ends up in 1907, witnessing the Brown Dog Riot. After learning that the brown dog's image had been painted in a style reminiscent of her crude drawing from 1317, she understands the long, unintended consequences of even seemingly small actions. Eventually, she slips back to her own time, forever changed by her unexpected journey through the chaotic tapestry of December 10th. A reminder that even seemingly insignificant events can ripple through time in unexpected ways. And that's a wrap for today's A Day on the Focus. Join me tomorrow for more historical happenings. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment about your favorite historical tidbit from today. Until then, stay curious.